Goeiemôre, goeiemiddag, goeie aand. Ek hoop julle almal doen goed by hier. How you guys doing?
That's so easy. That's easy for you to say, dude.
You can say it too.
Go on then.
Teach
me.
Say goeiemôre.
Goeiemorgen.
Goeiemiddag.
Goeiemiddag.
Goeie aand.
Goeieaand.
Hoop julle almal doen goed.
Yeah. Sounded a little Gaelic then, a little like Scottish Gaelic. Good though, good.
But you guys doing well?
Yeah, good. Still I'm still chuffed after I get my carp a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Still buzzing off that.
Imagine if you could design products as quickly.
Sorry guys,
Whoa.
My mouse is not working too well with me, so as soon as I try to click something, it does something else. I don't know if the battery's starting to get flat or whatever. But yeah, guys, tonight it's going to be a new one. Hope everybody in chat is good. I just want to say hi to everybody quickly before we do start. Jeff Gassett, good to see you. Sleeping Warrior, hello. The keyring of Roslyn. What? Well, Roslyn, yeah. Good to see you. Rocket Man, PJ Cruikshank. It's me again. Big Mary Hinge. Lumpy Gas in a Vacuum. Michael Kahn. Pointless Zoom. Sprouts of Doom. Alan Ostrand. Good to see you all. Hope you're all doing well. And well, yeah. The globe is demonstrated. Do you guys think the globe's demonstrated? Oh, and we got Neil in as well, guys.
Oh, I don't think it's demonstrable at all. I was just looking at that name in chat. I mean, come on, Big Mary Hinge. That's terrible.
Tonight, I was thinking, let's see if we can get any globe evidence, if it's been demonstrated or anything. And because I just can't seem to find any demonstrations for the globe they claim. And it should be very apparent if it was demonstratable.
Hello.
Hello, Arwen. How are you doing?
Doing good.
It's good to have you in. It's good to see people in the panel. I'm very happy we make it. We got Two Wolves in and Derek Nelson also. Good to see you guys. Okay, so the votes so far is 86 votes. The globe is demonstrated. Yes, I will show you 74%. So would we take 74% as liars?
No, just sock accounts that are fully automated.
Or liars.
I mean, there were like 70 votes, like 25 minutes before you even started the show.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Completely and utterly rigged.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like it because then it means the globe has just lying trolls then. Yeah. Because they would come in and...
It's not even trolls. It's just automated. I mean, that's not actual people that did that. I'm pretty sure they weren't.
But yeah, the point is, if they do click, you would at least had one or two of them clicking there. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah, guaranteed.
Normal, actual people, real life people. Sean Hawkins says, you have been presented a mountain of evidence. You are a liar.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Rachie, good to see you. Sean Hawkins, why don't you come and present it to us? Then we'll see these mountains of evidences. How's that sound? You guys in panel agree? Sean should come in and present it to us?
Absolutely.
All I've seen Sean present is a mountain of stupidity.
Exactly.
Sean's a certified numpty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that word's coming off your lips, like I keep saying, it must be like tar coming off his lips, the word liar. It must stick to his own lips, because that's exactly what he is. You know what I mean? So it must be hard for it to peel itself from his own lips.
Thank you, Godzilla37, for your $7 super chat. Thank you for coming. I really, really appreciate you being here. He says, I come in with a super chat. Globies come in with nothing. Exactly. Thank you very much for the super chat, Godzilla. Really appreciate all the support you do on the channel. Yeah, guys, so everybody there, just tell Sean, come on, be a man. Grow up here and come in and present to us. How about Rocket Man? You got anything to present to us? Or Charlie Walsh? I mean, 72% say yes, you have it. I mean, that's quite telling. Come on, there should be something.
Just rather hang around in chat with stupid comments.
I mean, while we're waiting for that, we can make fun of the golden boy, not a Professor Full Bell. I'm gonna call it straight.
Yeah, let's do that. Go ahead.
I'm gonna call it straight.
Somebody time out Rocket Man, please.
No, leave him. Shame. If he crosses the line, we'll time him out, but he's still fine.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. What has he done to
Yeah,
cross
what-
the line?
Hold on.
Arwen's full of a conspiracy raging right now. I wouldn't listen. Okay, I'm just gonna delete that comment. How's that sound?
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, Rocket Man, none of that nonsense, please. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, guys, we know there is no geometry. Yeah, for the globe. There's nothing for the globe, actually, because it's all based on flat. So there's no demonstrations. Look, when I was talking to Phil Bell, he was pointing at a photo. Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway.
what was that all about anyway with Phil Bell's floating head?
I mean, what a comment there, though. I mean, why would we need to demonstrate? Why would science need to demonstrate gravity? What a comment.
What he
Oh
pretended
yeah,
that-
let's show that. Let's show that. I mean, we got it in here, correct, in the chat. If my chat would work, my mouse would work now with me. Okay, that's not gonna. Just
Well,
looking
that sums it all up. Science. He doesn't know what science is.
Exactly.
he wouldn't know what science is even if it hits him on the head.
Oh, got another one.
I'm looking for it quickly. Oh, is it in Numpty chat? Oh, there we go. I gotta go to Numpty chats. Yeah, guys, this is a daily thing where we get to laugh at all the stupid stuff. Verity Hunter says, it's a begging the question fallacy. I asked for a scientific experiment for gravity, not a begging. Professor Phil Bell replies, why do we need a scientific experiment for gravity? I mean, come on. And this is a claimed professor, guys. He knows gravity is not scientifically validated. He knows there is no science for gravity. There's no science for your globe. Maybe listen to him, guys. Why do you need science? Because you claim it to be science, Phil. That's why. If you claim it to be science, then therefore you need to have science. I think that's quite a simple way to put it to these guys. Yeah, so let's go and listen to some numpty stuff. Guys, please do subscribe to Quantum Erase if you haven't already. I'm putting the link in the description for you guys. Please do subscribe to him if you haven't already. You guys ready?
Absolutely.
Let's do this.
The Snoz particle chef, Professor Booger Eater Phil Belland, back from his Nobel Prize winning Water Vapor is a Gas is the dumbest thing I ever heard. June 2021.
Okay, so you understand, and this is tried to explain to you that the atmosphere is not the same as how we describe gas pressure.
Wrong. Phil, atmosphere is a contradiction in terms. A paradox. Atmo means air. Air is a gas. Sphere is a shape. Gases have no inherent shape. Number 2, your train wreck atmosphere is made up of gases at pressure. So how are gases at pressure not the same as gas pressure? You dumbass cracker.
Last year, I moved into the top.
Okay, adverts. But yeah, just based on that alone, really sad.
You understand?
What's the atmosphere made of, Professor? If I may.
Okay, so it's made out of different gases.
So it's made out of different gases at pressure. So again, how is that different from gas pressure?
Do you understand that things fall? Do you accept that things fall to the ground?
You see, this is the same things he was trying to push onto me on FTFE. He thinks false equivocating gas and balls falling is a good argument.
Flatzoid.
Yeah, but there's nothing falling. I'm looking right outside. A couple leaves just fell. Yeah. But things don't just fall.
No, definitely. Yes, Michael.
I just want to make it clear to people, if they keep saying Arwen's name, I'm going to hide them.
Yeah. As soon as guys, just leave. Please.
Except for friendlies, please. Eleanor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Right? But
Yeah, there's a difference with harassment. If you guys are harassing people, it's a no-go on the show, and you will be booted.
And it's just ridiculous anyway. Just all ganging up just to say one name and pick on one person. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
cowardice.
showed up and
Rach-
suddenly everybody needs to pull out the weed whackers.
Exactly. It's cowardice, man. It's exactly what it is.
Rachie, hi Flatzoid. Sorry for the delay. Had a phone call on catch up 2 times speed now. Just be careful. You might just be bending space time while you're doing it. Hey Triple X, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Okay. What? Still no Globers in, guys. We still got no Globers coming in to present us their globe demonstrations.
Well, maybe they need some psychological recovery time after that Fight the Flat Earth scene and Phil Bell. I mean,
There was
that was so much numptiness in one go. Like, they must all be depleted, at least temporarily.
Well, I still want to find out how a person navigates without a grid system.
Yeah. He didn't get off that all night, did he? He didn't not get off that little toy globe of his.
I mean, think about it. Their whole globe is just based on this grid. If you got no grid, you got no anything on your globe. Because that's what it is. Latitude and longitudes. That's what builds their globe.
Well, their ball Earth doesn't work with a grid system. It works with a grit system. Just hold on there. You got grit. You can prove the globe. Just don't dig too deep.
But I was thinking, like, I would really be scared if I had to expect Craig to come and rescue me if my boat's stuck in the middle of the ocean, and I ask him, please come and fetch me at I'm here in the middle of the Pacific. Here's my GPS coordinates, and he says, sorry, I don't use that. I don't use grids. I use my toy globe. I'd be thinking, oh yeah, no, I'm stuffed.
Yeah,
I'm stuffed.
And he also said that before navigation, basically before celestial navigation, the land maps were just perfectly accurate, which is really funny. That's a really funny thing to say, because one thing that we do know about maps is that before celestial navigation was figured out, the maps were like really wonky and all over the place.
Exactly. Even he had conceded in that actual debate as well that cartography kept on improving through the years, so he literally contradicted himself. Hey, Chocolate Sand, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I did let Craig know. I don't really feel comfortable to do that weekly though, because all I got there the whole time was disrespect and nothing but idiocy. So I don't mind debating.
You need some detox time.
Yeah, I don't mind debating him and stuff now and then, but that just wouldn't work for me. Doing that every week. Getting talked over by everybody the whole time, showing no respect.
Exactly. It ended up being 5-over-1. Do you know what I mean? 5-on-1, and you still ended up holding your own. I ended up with a sore head. I don't know how you felt.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, we're supposed to be grown-ass people chatting. And when I ask a grown-ass man, that picture on screen is not a demonstration. Please show me a demonstration. And he can't even have the decency just to say, okay, I get it. Let's go and try and... Or just concede, no, it's not going to be possible. You'd say, there, look there. You see that blue stuff's not going into that black stuff. Blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Hey, Julie Mitchin.
Hey, Julie, how you doing? You good? But yeah, of course. He couldn't concede. He couldn't turn around and say, look, I just don't know.
So Phil were claiming the picture or a demonstration.
Exactly. And then when I said, okay, that's a demonstration, we got containment, he says, nah, what a hypocrite. So he's allowed to say that's his demonstration, but if I say, okay, that same picture showing my demonstration, I'm not allowed to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he actually a teacher, though? You know,
I highly doubt.
I wonder.
Well,
with the performance he did.
Well, let's put it this way. He says that he works with the Indian Space Agency and they launched satellites and whatever, blah blah blah. But the funny thing is, you don't get his credentials anywhere, at any Indian institute. really weird stuff because he would be on the name of nominees of launching the satellite just like everybody else. And how do you know there's no full bell?
So could he be a grifter, just making it all up?
He could be another, not a Professor Dave, yeah. Because a professor would know that gravity does nothing to gas. Nothing. There's no incoherent movement due to gravity. He would know that if he was a professor. I mean, he even conceded when he said, yeah, pressure gradients because of temperature, because of gas behavior. And he still wanted to push in gravity there after he just conceded its pressure gradients are caused by, gas behavior. The guy is a moron. He's just a delusional clown, actually.
It seems like he does lose track from one part of a sentence to another. Yeah.
Rachie said he had pictures with Indians. Does that count? I have pictures with Indians. Does that mean I did it as well?
Doesn't count unless you have cowboys with it.
Well, while you're on that subject, Phil Bell, no self-respecting Indian would ever be a flat earther.
No, yeah.
Does he know there's
What?
millions of Indian flat earthers out there?
Wow. Crazy.
I
Phil's
just
just a
my cousin Vinny the other day. That part was on.
Phil's just a
Crazy.
delusional know-it-all that
God.
doesn't actually know it all.
Can you imagine like an old Indian tribe with the feathers on the head and totems and like a globe there? Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, that's interesting. Do you ever see any drawings of the Indians from America with globes or any
No.
drawings of globes?
No.
None whatsoever.
the globe is actually very recent, guys. It's always
Yeah.
been flat. They trying to change the narrative of history because they have a cult and they want everybody to follow it. I watched the awesome video that Hammer shared with me the other day about propaganda. So I'm definitely going to be doing a video on that. And the globe is definitely propaganda, guys. There's no doubt about it.
Well, it's definitely a conspiracy, right? It's people conspired together to push a narrative, correct?
Yep, exactly. I mean, think about it.
That's
Let's
conspiracy.
take North Korea, for instance. The people there, they're not allowed to say what they want. They're not allowed to do what they want. But the propaganda from their media that's pushed is everywhere else is falling apart. They are a great nation. If you give up your rights, you are a patriot for your country. And the more you suffer, the better it is, the more happier you are. Now, that's what they're taught to believe because they're not allowed to leave their country. Now, they brainwashed. Now, they are in the mindset that everybody else is evil and everybody else is idiotic and stupid and blah, blah, blah. It's the same with the globe. They push exactly that nonsense. What do they do? From school, they push indoctrination on the children. It's globe, globe, globe. Everybody that goes against it is idiotic. They're stupid. They're evil. You must just laugh at them. And we are right no matter what. And that's exactly so. It's just propaganda. It's all just governing the minds of the people.
Well, it's a pyramid scheme, basically. Right?
Mhm.
Keep upholding that idea of the globe and assume there is proof for it. Somebody else will claim, no, I've seen proof. And so it's just a Ponzi scheme that keeps upholding itself based on people believing that it's real, but
Yeah.
never really finding out.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Black Eyes, Bane Bear, Jolly Man, Signal Step, Richard G. Good to see you guys in. It's good to see so much people coming. You guys want to listen to some more Numpty?
Oh, yeah.
Wild.
Okay, let's do
Why not?
this.
Ground.
Oh, brother. Yeah, we accept that some things fall and that other things rise, like helium, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, water vapor, etc.
Do you accept that? Do you accept that moisture from the sea rises? Do you accept that?
Yeah, it's called water vapor. That thing you had some difficulty with some months back? Jeez. Professor Numpty Dipshit. Some things fall and others rise. Is there a point to your brain dead queries?
Do you accept that molecules have mass? Do you accept that they weigh?
And the thing is, I get this argument all the time from him. Do you accept that things have mass and therefore it loses energy and will fall? While totally ignoring gas can only change direction with collisions.
And it doesn't have effective mass in its expanded state.
Can you
Like
define mass?
they can't weigh gas until they compress it enough for it to have such a density compared to the atmosphere, the gas
But you
in the
can't.
general atmosphere, so that you can measure a weight to it.
You can't actually measure gas though. You can only calculate its weight, because they have to measure the container without the gas, and then they have to put the gas in and say, "Oh, you see, now I'm measuring gas," but you're not. You're calculating its weight.
That's correct.
Mhm.
And can anybody define?
Yeah, fair enough.
Right? Kiwi would say define mass.
They can't. And as soon as you say the word inertia, then they run away. Apparently, the sun is a gas. Yeah, they say it's a plasma. So they say, you see, we can have plasma in an arc reactor, so therefore we can have the sun in a vacuum.
That's a violation of natural law, no?
Yeah. Scorching hot gas. Is plasma hot or cold, though, guys?
That depends. I don't think it necessarily needs to be super hot.
Probably. Well, when it's got to do with, I think they say the sun has got to do with fusion, nuclear fusion. Was it fission? Nuclear fusion. Yeah.
Yeah, fusion.
Yeah, fusion.
Yeah, the nuclear reactors work on
Fusing
fission.
fusing the lower atoms together into the heavy metals, right? That's the idea.
Yeah. The key. What's an arc reactor? It's a reactor that contains the plasmoid gas. It electrifies the gas so much that it keeps it in an orbit around the arc. Is that
power?
Yeah, is that a nice way of putting it? I don't know. It's difficult to dumb down things to some of these guys. Teresa Green, gas has mass. What is mass, Teresa Green?
Well, it only has, mass is basically what you can register as in density disequilibrium. But yeah, regular uncompressed gas is going to adapt pretty close to the average density of the gas of the container it is in, even if you put it in a balloon. So it's going to be very hard to actually derive mass, right? You can't really weigh gas in its expanded state. You have to compress it, usually it becoming a liquid in the process, and then you can actually start putting it on a scale.
Yeah.
But in its expanded state, you can't. You just can't. It doesn't.
Yeah, but then
have
it's not a
mass.
gas. But then it's not a gas anymore if it's in liquid state.
Yeah, sometimes it's like almost, it's like a weird in between thing, like with oxygen. And some things like CO2 turn into solid crystals. Even it's really weird what happens with compressed gases.
The chocolate sand. Shout out to all that my antipodal peeps upside down from the 1,000s of miles beneath my feet. This one's for you.
But I said today, there's no stars under my feet. I look up to see the stars.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice that debate when I had with that other Craven Mordic or whatever his name is? He didn't even answer my argument that why the astronauts can't make up their mind if they see stars or not. He did answer one guy saying, "Oh, he changed his mind on his book because of the corona," but I didn't even get into that. Even on that, it was he said in his original statement with the corona he could see it. He couldn't see it.
I was just about to ask you, Arwen, do you know what that means?
I don't know what the hell he's doing, but that's not proper Dutch.
Oh, okay. I was just about to ask you because I just noticed your name was in there and Baldwin, but I didn't obviously understand the rest of it. So
I don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
Marliek. No idea. Wat bedoel je? What do you mean? From Wikipedia, arc reactor, fictional power source in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah. The arc reactor is fictional, but you can actually have it in science terms. Has you never seen the arc reactor in real life before? Have you never seen a nuclear reactor, mate? The only lonely. What a verb is doing word. What? Easier to teach lies. Exactly, Rachie.
I'm trying to find out what a scientific term is. What does that mean?
I don't know. You see, we get so confused with what science is today because no one knows. As soon as you say it's a method, then you get shunned. How dare you say science is just a method? Right? Yeah. But if it wasn't for science, you wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't be using this microphone. No one says technology.
Yeah, if you hadn't been established as the cause of an effect, you wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
Keyring of Russia. I never said a nuclear reactor is a arc reactor. Way too much represent me, mate.
That's what I'm saying. They like to put words in mouths, don't they?
Yeah.
They just slap science in front of it or after it, and
yeah,
laps it up, don't they?
I've got an idea what the keyring of wrestling can do. You can come on here and they can talk and they can tell us what the arc reactor is.
That'd be a good idea.
Isn't the arc reactor like from
Iron Man? Yeah.
From the Marvel Studios, yeah, exactly. We're making fun of it. It just doesn't understand.
It's a polonium-based super plasma thingy reactor.
See, the thing is they think we are serious when you're making fun of them. That's their problem.
Unbelievable, isn't it? It's absolutely unbelievable.
I mean, it's like saying gravity is a force while saying it's not a force at the same time, and then they say, "Oh, you see, you believe in gravity."
Yeah.
No.
We're going to talk about flux capacitors soon, as though they're real, and build a time machine.
Yeah, I saw it on TV. Yeah.
Who needs a flux capacitor to just get a telescope out?
Oh, of course.
I don't need to Google anything. This is a show where we're waiting for Globers to come demonstrate their globe to us. I mean, there should be something. At least one thing. He says, I've told you, an arc reactor is fictional fusion reactors from the Iron Man films. Do you think real because you don't bother checking? The guy...
Because you don't listen.
I just literally said we're making fun of you guys.
Yeah, okay. You can go for a minute or two.
Yeah.
They always do this, don't they? You just said something, then they ask that question. Like they didn't hear it afterward. They keep doing it. What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Numpties.
I mean, don't they catch on that when we say something like that, it's just us making fun of them, of their whole belief system? I mean, little children catch this.
Maybe they have bots and that's why they can't click on.
Maybe.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like some weird read bot that just does that.
Only the lonely. Come on. Show us what an arc reactor is. Come on, because we just told you what it is.
What's an arc reactor to prove whether it's real or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it's supposed to be proving. Because the globe has actually brought it up once. Saying, you see, this arc reactor on Marvel shows gas pressure being held without a container. You're like, that is inside a container.
I know if you can get one
plasma, that's magnetic.
Yeah.
If you can get an arc reactor small enough, you can fit it inside of an iron suit, and it actually causes like superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get one small enough, that is.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
It's just polonium.
Exactly, Paul. An arc reactor is still a container.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting. Yeah, it would be nice to have Nick Volt on again. He's actually someone that has some noggin up here to actually discuss like a normal human being. What's I like about him? Yeah, he's dishonest with cognitive dissonance like all of them. But at least we're able to have a conversation like grown-ups.
It shocked me though when he said he were going to have to go away and look into elevation angles.
Yeah, I was very surprised.
You know,
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because it was Spud asked me to ask him, and I was expecting him just to reel it off, just like that. But no, he said straight away, "I need to go and look into it."
Hey, Mr. Lebo, good to see you, mate. Do you guys think we can find any globe demonstration? Oh, wait, by the way, before we do that. Sulfur hexafluoride. You remember how much Craig said it's going to cost?
Not sure.
He said something like 90,000 pounds or dollars or something.
For
Well, I found...
What?
Yeah, so because I want Phil Bell to do that demonstration that he claimed he can do, but he doesn't want to pay for it. Look how much it costs for 25 grand, Phil. $95. You're telling me you
Is
can't...
it pure gold gas or something? Like,
yeah.
Tony Whitcomb, £10 super chat. Thank you very, very much, mate. Really appreciate it for your super chat. He says they have bastardized science for making trainers. God damn it. The list is endless. Exactly. They have taken science and totally misconstrued it to make pseudoscience seem as science and science seem as pseudoscience. Really appreciate the super chat, mate. Thank you for all your support. So
but
first,
science is, hold on, science, what they think is that science is just outdated. They've expanded upon the method so you can apply it to everything. And then, oh yeah, you don't really have to be as narrow and can be whatever you want, man.
yeah.
Everything is science.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Owen's correct on that. I
Yeah.
was told in Gem Pandas that what we talk about here and, on Flat Earth Debate is 5th grade science.
And yet we the ones teaching them constantly what science is because they think time is an IV. And when we ask them,
manipulated.
yeah, and then we ask them what is an IV, DV, and CV, they can't really tell us. I mean, look at Craig. When I ask him, okay, let's science gravity, he says distance. I said, yeah, but distance isn't gravity. He doesn't get that simple thing.
And how do you manipulate time? You wait. That's just stupid, isn't it? It's just ridiculous.
So it's a control then. There's
Yeah.
No, but you're going through time. You're not actually manipulating it.
That's what I said.
No,
How are you changing time by just waiting? You're just
You're not. That's the point. You're not at
you
all.
can only use time as a duration, so it's a control. Time cannot cause anything. And this is a challenge to every globe out there that thinks time can be an IV. Tell me one scientific hypothesis where time caused anything.
It's a concept. How's the concept cause anything?
Exactly.
Well, they'll bring up black holes, right? You can't do it here, right?
Yeah, but
you have to go outside in space to a black hole, and then you can.
Exactly. But yeah, guys, look at this: $95 full bell for 25 grams of sulfur hexafluoride. Come on, you tell me you can't do what you want. His claim was, I don't know if you guys heard it. His claim was, yes, he can keep sulfur hexafluoride in a fish tank indefinitely if he takes it and cools it down to minus 60 degrees Celsius. And then I asked him to do the demonstration. He says, no, he's not going to pay for it. Then I had someone, I think it was a Travis guy or something, pop up in my comment saying, I'll pay for it. And the excuse came from their side, no, it's too expensive. And Craig was like, no, it's going to cost like $90,000 or something.
My goodness. My goodness.
What? That's like what he needs, an Archon laser or something? Like, there's no amount of gas that's going to be that expensive.
You just need some liquid nitrogen, a fish tank, and 25 grams of sulfur hexafluoride. There we go.
And what will it do, Flatzoid? It will eventually disperse.
Yeah,
it will, because his claim is it will stay in indefinitely. He says it would never ever disperse because it would be just before freezing point, and therefore it won't have enough energy to disperse. But guess what else his excuse was? Scale.
scale.
You can't do it on Earth.
Oh
Then
my
I went.
goodness.
Then I went and asked. Okay, but on Earth, closest to center of mass is where the gravity is supposedly stronger. Correct.
Mm.
So if you're putting it on the floor, closest to center of mass, therefore your gravity should be the strongest. So I don't understand what that's got to do with anything.
It doesn't.
It doesn't
No.
exactly
I
that.
mean,
But that's how
if you're going to
dishonest
think
this
of
guy's are.
gravity as a force, then it's not going to be strong enough to countermand the gas pressure expansion force
Yeah.
into the available volume of assumed to be gigantic universe container.
I th-
It's not going to be strong enough, even if you do assume it's a force, which it isn't.
Exactly. I think I'm going to try and quickly look for that part where he makes that claim, because the people have to hear this. If they didn't hear this,
But do you notice with Phil as well, though, the amount of times you'll invite him when he's in the chat, invite him to come on, and he will not do it. Yeah, but as soon as he had 5 backup, he was in there. You know.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Phil is a coward. He never ever comes in, but he was waiting to be on Craig so he can help and get white knighted, and he still got shown to be an ignorant clown.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I laugh when these guys say, "Oh, I'm gonna school you on thermodynamics," and then they come in and it's like, dude, you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. You think closed and open systems are the same thing?
Like you're saying it
cannot.
should.
Okay, I want to see. It cannot leave the system boundary because the system boundary is physical.
But why? Why can't
I just want to see if I can find that part.
why can't all that blue stuff move into the black stuff?
It's in the same system, Phil. Unless
What's
of
that
it
got to
there.
do with it?
You see what I mean? This is a professor, guys. He doesn't understand what is the same system. Why is it not leaving the boundary?
But what boundary? This is a visible thing. Like, there's still gas there in that black part.
Exactly.
Okay?
I was trying to
You
explain
just,
it to him.
there's no light refracting and you don't see it because it's like not
crazy.
reflecting light, but it's still gas there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I want to know what gas behavior specifically would stop the gas from at 14.7 psi.
Just looking for that point where he
Good. So
makes a claim.
So the gas that's at the bottom, let's follow a particular gas molecule, would lose its kinetic energy as it goes up. Because like you agree, it gets colder and colder and move less, right?
Moves less moves less, but it still goes the same direction constantly
Like
until it hits until it has another collision. It can only change direction with collisions. It's elastic collisions, mate.
No, but eventually it'll get to the point where it just doesn't have kinetic.
You see how he ignores what I said?
He thinks it just loses kinetic energy without collision?
Yeah, he thinks it loses kinetic energy, then he thinks it stops, and because it doesn't have enough energy to move on, it goes down, go boom, boom. That's what he thinks. And this
What made it lose the energy?
Ask him that. Because he doesn't understand that nothing gets to 0 degree Kelvin. There's no 0 degree Kelvin to get something for it to stop moving, but it's only on a molecular level. The gas is still moving in its vector. It's only its molecular movement that's jiggling and moving faster. That's all.
It's only going to slow down once it collides with something that is cold enough for it to make that lose that energy. So there has to be something there that is that cold. If it's not hitting anything, it will just keep on going, not lose energy.
He doesn't understand what scholastic collisions mean. It can only change direction with collisions. It doesn't matter how cold it gets, it's still going to go until it has a collision to go back. And this guy's supposed to be a professor. I just want... I wish I knew the time where he said he made that claim.
He can't be a professor. He can't be. No way. Not talking the way he does.
Yep.
Duper Poons, ain't you a flat earther yet?
Oh, he is a flat earther.
No.
Duper Poons is definitely a flat earther, guys.
Wow.
All right, let's have a look at this, okay?
Okay.
Okay, you see that thin blue area above the ground, above the earth?
Yeah, it's caused by the atmo being thicker.
Okay, so you can see that thin blue area. Then you can see the really black area that's above it.
Much less air, yeah.
Why isn't that blue area just expanding into the black area?
Because it's in the same system.
Now, what's stopping it?
You see what I mean? What does same system mean, guys?
It means it's in the same vicinity. There's nothing there to stop it.
I mean, if I bring in a gas canister and I tell you, why is this gas not leaving this gas canister? What's your answer going to be? It's sealed, correct?
Yeah.
That's how dumb this guy is. Oh man, I'm just looking for that timestamp. Does anybody know the timestamp on where it is, maybe?
System. Not that it is a closed system.
Yes, because it has to be modeled as a closed system because it violates natural law. Congratulations.
No, Pete. That's not what's happening.
That's
it's
exactly
modeled
it.
as a closed system. It's modeled as a closed system because compared to all of that mass on the Earth, very little of it ever leaves.
Sorry. What is a closed system in thermodynamics, guys? Does it say if little mass leaves, it's closed? Or does it say no matter leaves, it's closed?
I would go for the latter,
Yeah. It's amazing how these guys try and make up their own physics. It's fine. Just take what there is and just make your own physics up full. Just go ahead. Say that thermodynamics doesn't say what it says. It's dishonest, by the way. According to thermodynamic systems, a closed system says no matter may leave or enter the system. Not little bit of percentage of amounts or large.
Listen.
No matter can leave. Do you understand what no matter means?
Try to follow what I'm saying. Okay.
Dude. See what I say. He literally just ignores me.
This is where I dropped during that show. It just became too tedious.
Sorry, I'm still just looking for that time. Have you ever
No.
What?
Ooh, I can bring you up actual
It's got to do with the energy.
classes from MIT talking about gases and the kinetic
I've
energy.
seen-
Oh yeah. This is a claim he made. He says gases have nothing to do with thermodynamics. Should we set it roundabout? Listen to this. The guy doesn't know that that gas and thermodynamics go hand in hand. He says it's got nothing to do with gas. Now it's loading. Nice. Thank you. And he's talking about kinetic energy, a theory of thermodynamic gases, and he still doesn't get it. Talking about it, but saying it doesn't exist. Oh, come on.
Is an open system. In other words, the gas particles actually do leave the Earth.
Again, Phil, what would happen based on thermodynamics if it was an open system? What would happen?
Nothing more than what's happening now.
No, thermodynamics, the law of entropy says the gas
No, it doesn't.
will fill
Keith.
the available... It's called
Listen.
increase in entropy.
Listen.
Are you claiming entropy to
Yes.
be... Are you saying entropy is bunk? Are you literally saying entropy is bunk here?
Entropy is to do with has got to do with the entropy of energy. Okay.
And gases. Have you ever seen the... Have you ever
No.
gone...
What?
What?
Did you hear that? He said no.
He would. Bye, Dupa.
How to calculate entropy changes ideal gases. Thermodynamics example entropy calculation with ideal gases. How to calculate entropy changes ideal mixture of gases. Bowell knows nothing about thermodynamics, guys. Does gas have entropy? Gases have higher entropies than solids or liquids because of their disordered movement. Thanks for playing, Phil. Okay, I don't need to look the whole night for that time, but I'll do it. I'm definitely going to make a video on where he makes that claim with the sulfur hexafluoride. Any other statements you guys heard that were very funny from Globers that are unable to be demonstrated? Exactly,
Every-
Rachie.
Every single claim they make.
Actually. Yeah, and Glenn Sells, that's what Phil actually conceded. It was the gas behavior that was giving the pressure gradients, not gravity. Paul, anything Duper says.
Exactly. He Googles it. It's got to be right all the time.
Skippy, I don't need to show where the container is. The fact we're breathing provides us the evidence the container's there. The burden of proof is on you guys to provide us the demonstration showing we can have gas pressure without containment. That's your burden of proof. It's not mine, not anybody else's. It's yours.
Terry Windsor said, can gas be affected by a magnetic field?
Yes. What do you think plasma is? Yeah, stupid questions. One thing I got to say when I was listening to FED doing the appraisal on how what I was debating and whatever, I disagree with them on a few things. The one thing I have to say I disagree on is it's irrelevant to try and get people to understand gas behavior. I mean, I don't get it. If a guy comes in and tells you don't understand thermodynamics and gas behavior and stuff, you're going to test him on it. That's what it is. I'm not going to say, okay, I've shown you to concede now, so we just leave it there and go on. If he's conceded, great. But if he's going to chat about gas behavior and I get him to concede in the gas behavior realms, then it's just me trying to educate the idiot using the most simple terms possible. So I think that's the difference that I have against what FED do and what we do, though. Because I still want to at least, even though the argument's over, let them still dig their hole further, I'll say.
Oh, you don't have to worry about it. It was Arwen that was under indictment anyway.
And Arwen did a good job, though. I mean, even you, Neil. But I mean, like I was saying, even when you were trying to ask him gravity's not a force, I also tried to bring it on, but that guy kept on trying to push it away. And then
that seemed to be the train of thought that he knew. So he was fully Newtonian. He probably didn't even know what space-time bending was.
But that's why I said if I was on FABD, I would have told them it doesn't even help going there, because the argument was for entropy. It wasn't for gravity specifically. And I know if we had to go to gravity, the guy would even fail even more miserably because he doesn't even know what gas behavior is.
I can't believe that the guy literally conceded everything and then still claimed he won at the end.
Yeah, that's...
Hold on, but Flatzoid, this is what's going on.
Yeah, it was funny.
You got a poll in there, and it says 65% say they could show proof, but nobody comes in to show proof.
No one.
So what would we have to do? We have to get our own, and we have to analyze our own people's videos, and that's only going to cause problems. So come on in, ballers.
It's just bots.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Why do you think Arwen's got an alter ego? The evidence has got to come from somewhere.
Right, somebody's got to try to get it right.
You know what I mean?
And it's tough.
Absolutely.
Well, you're doing a better job than they do, Owen. So
definitely.
Right, but you know why? Because I know what it is, and when you know what something is, you know what you're doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand. They rest on not completely fully understanding it, only on whether it sort of fits in the moment to them. And therefore, they basically, they don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand what it is that they do with the information.
I think their problem...
I do.
I think the problem is, Owen, they get all the information from morons like McToon and Simon Dan and all them, and it's wrong information. And so they think, this guy's got so much subscribers and he sounds intelligent, so therefore he has to just be right. So let's just parrot his nonsense. And when they go to an argument with people that actually know what they're talking about, hence everybody here, they get thrown into a bottomless pit that they can't get out of because they actually have nothing. It's
Right. They had just had a sort of a train of thinking, which is what the anti-flat earthers, the prominent ones, typically do. They just roll out a story and then expect you to just believe and hold on to that story. They don't teach you how to critically analyze the information. Like whenever they do that, it's only for trying to brag about how smart they are. They don't teach you what it is that they're actually doing.
That's right.
That's the difference. While flat earthers, the good ones, us guys, we really try to explain every step of the way.
Yeah.
And that's the big difference. So when you hang around us and you actually just try it out yourself, look things up, and be honest about it, you'll learn it too. And then you'll get it. And then you'll see how ballers are failing so much, what that is.
Yeah.
Because we teach you how to understand the information and deal with it and figure it out for yourself. They don't teach that to their followers.
No, you see, and
That's
then
true because I learned everything on these shows. I didn't know
Yeah.
anything until I came to Flat Earth Debate. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even know what the scientific method was.
and you know what the sad thing is? Most of the things you find though is how to talk to a flat earther, not to how to think critically or anything. It's how to talk to a flat earther. Like that's got to do with anything.
Yeah, patronizing.
Or to divine the motivation as to why we're doing it without communicating, even better.
Terry Winter says, thanks for the concession. So gas can change direction without needing to collide with... What the hell are you talking about? That's a lie and a half, Terry. I never ever said that. Terry, why don't you come in to defend your crap? Because otherwise I'm going to ban you for lying. Guys, did I ever say that gas can change direction without collisions?
No.
It's a straight out lie.
Yeah, I specifically said the opposite to that, mate. ASB, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming. He says, what happened to Arwen's audio? It was okay on its own channel. There's nothing wrong with Arwen's.
Is my sound off?
No, it's fine. It sounds like you're on a radio, though.
Oh, so my sound is off. Okay.
Okay, no, it's only when you're a bit far. When you're close, it's sharp.
Oh, so I have to get close again. Because the other day I had to take like a meter distance, remember? Okay, I'll keep closer.
It's nothing. There was nothing wrong with your sound at all. I don't know. It's maybe just that you sounded a little further than usual, but there was nothing wrong with it.
I'm gonna look up globe demonstrations. Let's see on YouTube if we can find anything. See how we have to go fish for it because you just don't get it. Globe demonstrations, Elizabeth costume dressing. Teaching longitudes and latitudes using the globe. Maybe Craig should watch this because this is very important.
I bet they're using a grid system.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe let's see what she has to say. Maybe it's in Indian, but we can try. I have to see if I can get it back onto presenting. Otherwise, it's not going to work with the channel. There we go. Just skip that. I hope it's not in Indian, guys. Yeah. Yes. Gas can be affected by magnetic field, but plasma is ionized gas, Terry. We do not breathe ionized gas, you must. And by the way, magnetic fields are a force.
Yeah, and technically ionized gas is a colloquial name for plasma, which is considered another state, so not actually gas.
Exactly.
Yeah, they like to pounce before they get the full story.
Okay, let's see. I hope it's not Indian. Teaching longitudes, latitudes using
Topic
globe.
is globe, latitudes and longitudes.
Okay.
We need to explain students about latitudes and longitudes.
Okay, Craig, please pay attention, mate. Remember, this is like actually little primary school stuff you should know.
Shown on the globe are imaginary lines which help us to locate places on the Earth's surface. We need to allow students to explore the globe on their own. Ask them what do they observe on the globe. How many types of lines are there on the globe? Facilitate learners to identify North Pole and South Pole.
Sorry, I can't. Remember, his toy globe doesn't have the grid, so he thinks it doesn't exist. You don't need the grid for your globe to navigate.
So you're gonna need that grid to try to make your globe at a consistent scale, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're still gonna not completely succeed because it just doesn't fit.
But you see,
But I mean, without the grid, it's just gonna be mess. It's just gonna be like you trying to draw it on a globe or something, like an Easter egg. I mean,
but you know
it's not gonna be looking good.
You know, these people are morons. They're stupid. They don't understand the longitude and latitude lines is what's made their globe. Why do they think the longitudes? It's based from Greenwich Meridian Time. It's based on the sun's movement across the sky, and that's why it moves smaller down to the poles, because they've drawn it that way based on time. Now the latitudes are based on the measurements. Yes, measurements to Polaris, which is just a quadrant, and then they quadruple it to make a sphere. All just based on flat. Every single thing.
Flat Earth measurements to Polaris. That's right.
Exactly. But that's why he can't have the grid, because they know if they have the grid, they're conceding flat.
That's correct.
So it's good
That's
to see.
why they're throwing it out.
Yeah, so it's good to see they're throwing their only so-called argument for the globe away. I mean, he said to me, oh, you don't need a grid system for satellites. I said, okay, but then how does the satellite know where it is? The data is based on the grid system. No grid, no satellite movement. Not to mention the satellite can't go to where they claimed it to be anyway.
Ask them to move their fingers on the line which joins North Pole and South Pole.
Yeah.
The students will be able to identify different lines and tell them the line, this horizontal line, which divides the globe into two equal halves.
Face Reality, $2 super chat. Thank you very, very much, mate. Really appreciate it. He says, all the blue stuff stuck on that globe looks odd. Yeah. I mean, I've never seen bendy water before. So I think it would look
Forget
odd.
about that. Hey, Flatzoid, how's she going to get those lines straight?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those lines don't curve like that.
Nope.
Those are straight lines. Can't get that on a sphere.
Nope.
That's his thing.
Since when does horizontal curve anyway?
That's right.
I mean,
geodesic system.
why do you think they always use chords? Because they need a straight line. And the funny thing is they always ignore that they have the equatorial plane, which means it's a flat two-dimensional horizontal plane through the center of the Earth.
It's known as equator.
Equator.
This is northern hemisphere and this is southern hemisphere.
Yeah.
Ask students to measure these parallel lines.
Parallel lines. Okay. You see, this is what Craig did. Put he measured with a ruler or something on his globe, but he did it from a known location, aka a reference of a ground, to the other and say, see, the distance means it's accurate. But I said, okay, let's go to the middle of the ocean now. Please do that. You won't get an accurate, you won't even know where to start and end because there's no reference.
Which are in the north of equator and in the south of equator, and discuss which one is bigger. You may ask a student to read aloud the numbers which are written on the intersections of these lines, like 0 degree.
Okay, we don't have to watch this. Wow. But yeah, it's simple. No grid, no globe, guys.
First of all those measurements she got to make that globe, derived from a flat Earth.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why it's so good to see they're throwing their grid system away. See, I've put in globe demonstration. Do we see any globe demonstrations here? Where's your globe demonstrations, guys? Come on, what's going on?
No, not even one.
NASA photos?
Not even that. They're not even showing that. How snow
Well, they
globes
show
was
that
invented.
when you ask them for a working model, they'll show you the globe.
But they don't have any model, actually. It's a whole bunch of models. Because they don't have a model. It's impossible to have a model for their belief.
I would say they don't have any because they don't have any measurements. So,
Yeah,
Actually, correct, yeah.
that's right.
And the measurements that they do have would derive from a flat plane. You cannot measure it any other way.
They just hijack it.
Hey, Media Don, do you want to come on and present us some globe demonstrations? Ooh, the complete globe scene, the great dictator. Yeah, dictator and globe go well together, by the way. World map. Okay, yeah, there's definitely no demonstration for a globe, so we might as well just end the stream here. You guys make it difficult to make a show. You know that if you don't bring anything.
Especially when they say they're going to in the poll. And
I mean, 54%. I mean, of 155. That's quite a large amount.
I mean, it's...
There should at least be 90 to 100 people here now. Come on. What's going on? Where's the people showing us this demonstration?
Yeah, let's say that they're all keyboard warriors or they get stage fright.
Oh, yeah, it's just like
All
it
of
says
them.
AI trolls.
Or that as well.
Or half of them are just Sean Hawkins with different
Isn't it
soccer
mad?
accounts.
Isn't it mad that you've now got AIs trolling you?
Yeah.
It must be a threat or something.
Any logical thinker would realize if you got AI trolling you, then you know you're on the right path.
Exactly.
Do you know what beauty is, though, Flatzoid?
Sorry?
Do you know what beauty is? We've got numpty section where we save all silly comments what they make.
Yeah.
Let's see. How was the
What?
globe demonstrated? Come on, there must be some. The globe, a model of our Earth. Study of globe, grade 5. Yeah, globers use fake accounts. Exactly, Derek.
Curve radius.
Know your globe. Latitude is longitude. Notice how not even YouTube's able to give us any demonstrations for the globe. But they can tell us a lot about looking at the globe in longitude and latitude lines, like that's supposed to be demonstrating the globe. How the ancient Greeks proved the earth was round. This should be good. I'm gonna download.
That's still not a model, though.
Companies of all sizes use BigQuery.
Nope. I'm gonna download this quickly so we can have no.
I can't believe that dude said a curved radius. I'm still trying to get over that.
What?
He said somebody said something about a curved radius.
It was Mercator.
Yeah, a curved radius. A radius is a straight line, dude.
Yeah. Do they know what a radius is? Maybe I can draw it for them quickly.
Is a pudding like he's claiming 24 hours sun in Antarctica and all sorts of crap? It just proves it out. It's probably Sean.
A radius can't be curved like in physical reality, but it could be curved in space-time.
Okay, this is a circumference, guys. Okay, this is a radius. You see this straight line? That is a radius. Because it's the center distance to the circumference, which it means radius. Uh-oh, straight lines. Something you guys hate to talk about.
It's like a phobia, isn't it?
I think they do have a phobia for straight
Knowledge
lines.
of the Earth's spherical shape.
Knowledge of the Earth's spherical shape. Okay, so he's already starting on knowledge. This should be good. You guys ready?
Aye.
Let's do this.
Is nothing
Let's
new.
break the question.
Well, at least for most of us, that is. You might even be surprised to learn that the Earth's shape was discovered over 2,000 years ago.
Discovered. Remember the word discovered, guys. Over 2,000 years ago by a fictional character that there's no documentation for that ever existed. But at least we got some reasoning to say one place was a well and the other place was a stick.
Well before any advanced satellites were able to make the exact measurements that we have today.
They love
brilliant background. Very flat looking, actually.
But don't you like the CGI satellite floating there? Why don't we ever get actual photos of real satellites in space? It's always just CGI nonsense. Oh.
It's kind of but I can explain it, right? It's kind of risky to have one satellite move towards one another close enough to make a proper photograph, because then they'd risk like a great cataclysm with the with all the space debris basically making it impossible for future satellite operations. So that's why they never do it. They can't risk it.
No, I'm going to do Nathan here. You're wrong, Owen. You cannot go to fake space. Yeah, I mean, think about it. You telling me that there's not one satellite that's able to take a photo of another satellite, but they're able to take photos of planets and galaxies trillions of miles away. Doesn't anybody see the problem with this?
It's just easier to CGI. Don't think about it. Right? I mean, actual photograph from space, that must cost like millions or something. Maybe the first time, and then after that becomes really cheap, but like still not worth it. It's just cheaper to do it CGI. You can like do it for like $100, get a good program, and then you can make it. And they probably even have all this pre-made stuff ready that you just get for free, because they really like you to have that. Right? So why would you use real photographs? It's unreasonable to expect everybody that's going to make a video about such a thing to actually show a real photograph if it would exist.
Yeah. But also, the Satelloons that they claim to be satellites, it just uses its data off of the grid system. So if it didn't have the grid system, it wouldn't know where it is, and that is why it's able to map out so apparently perfect to their grid, because it's already based off of the data of the grid. It's fed its data pre-programmed. So it thinks it's on a globe, but it's just following a grid. We can place that same satellite on a pineapple and it would think it's, you know what I mean? It would think it's following perfectly to the pineapple as a globe. It just follows the data presented to it. Hey, Sam, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Made with Unreal Engine. Yeah, Unreal Engine 5. Woo!
Never tossed a myth. Nice one, Paul.
It is a myth.
To be fair, many of the ancient civilizations likely assumed that the Earth was round even before having the evidence. The first credited to propose such an idea was philosopher.
I like how he just makes a bold claim. To be fair, there are probably people before him making this claim that the Earth should be round. So he's just appealing to what people would what's that word?
No, he's basically moving in like he's already presented the evidence.
Exactly.
But it was just a stupid photo satellite CGI thingy. And then just like, and before they knew that, through that CGI photograph, they already had an idea that it was a globe. That's what he's actually saying.
Yep, exactly. No, Ortonville, pilots and sailors do not observe Earth's curvature, mate. Heck, even Neil deGrasse Tyson says you do not see curve at over 220,000 feet. And yeah, that is just a magic show, as they say, because he's making you beg the question that there is curve to see. There's no curve to see at any distance. It's all optical. And if you don't believe me, go watch Dave McKeegan's video where he says even on a flat surface you would see curve. Literally making my argument that I've been making for years. Congratulations. So it's all optical, not physical. Whoopsie.
And mathematician Pythagoras back in 500 BC. But when it came to proving that the Earth is round, it wasn't until Aristotle came around that hard evidence was first laid out.
Hard evidence.
Hard evidence. Hard as a stick.
But that's a bold claim. What do you guys? What do you think that I would? What would you say is hard evidence? Because we all know he's
sticks and shadows. Of
his
course.
Title. I mean, his title says proved, and he's saying hard evidence and proved. That's quite a claim to have. So I mean that's.
I mean, you
what
get.
is better than putting sticks in the ground than looking at the shadow, assuming you're on a globe, and that's the proof you're on a globe. I mean, there's nothing better. A little kid could understand. That's the point. It's dumb. It's simple. It's hard to get out of your head. It's nonsense, but you'll believe it. So that's the best evidence they got.
Yep, exactly. Hey, Travis, good to see you. Glad you could make it, mate.
So like not evidence like what was that I was going to say? It just went straight out of my head. I had something to say then, it just went straight out of my head. You said something and it just reminded me of it. I'll come back to it if I remember.
Shot.
When Aristotle wrote his book On the Heavens in 350 BC, he laid out several pieces of evidence for why he believed the Earth assumed a spherical shape.
So how's that hard evidence? Because he just said hard evidence and he just said why he believes.
It's kind of funny that he said assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny choice of words right there, really.
That's what I was going to say. There's been plenty of people convicted on evidence and been innocent. So not all evidence is true, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Guilty until proven.
Exactly.
But I mean, just like you said, he says hard evidence and then says he believed it to be on assumption. How's that hard evidence? That means he's got a bias opinion on what he believes it to be, not he's got evidence on what it is.
It's a hardened belief. I mean, it's grit, man. You just stick to the belief, even if it doesn't make any sense anywhere. You just stick with it. You got grit, right?
Exactly. So he's made a biased decision on his belief and just said, therefore it is. So he's affirmed the consequent based on his belief, in other words.
Yep.
One thing he noticed and pointed out was that each time there was a lunar eclipse, the shadow of the Earth upon the moon could be seen. And since that shadow...
Again, begging the question, how do you even know it's a shadow? I mean, just because he says it looks like a shadow, does that physically make it a shadow?
Shadow is always round.
Sorry?
Well, you could presuppose, you know. That's always the funny game, isn't it? If you just presuppose the Earth to be a ball, well, then, yeah, you could. It almost seems like it would fit. Isn't that just interesting?
Yeah, but I mean, then let's also this way. If you have to think logically, if you're going to already presuppose something like this, and you base all your so-called evidence on this presupposition of having a bias belief, does that not invalidate the logical deductions made from that presupposition?
No, it's more like just a hypnotic trick, right? You just give a whole set of things in which you can imagine the Earth to be a ball, then eventually, like, it all connects and you just see it like a ball.
Exactly. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, Rachie. How did he determine it was a shadow of Earth? That's exactly what I'm trying to say. How? He just said, look, it looks like a shadow, and therefore it has to be Earth shadow. So therefore it is. And therefore it is hard evidence. Yeah, whatever. I can say, look, it looks like a shadow, and I think pixie dust is causing it. So now therefore...
What about the selenilia? How do you say that?
Yeah, the selenium effect, the impossible eclipse. And then what's the excuse? Refraction. and then they ignore that the shadow's totally 180 degrees different than what the globe is based upon. It's crazy. It's called the impossible eclipse for a reason, because even refraction can't explain it.
Regardless of where...
Sorry?
I was just going to say, I see sun and moon in the sky above me loads. How is Earth causing that shadow?
It can't.
Yeah, they do have an answer for that. I see it all the time as well. But they don't have an answer for the, how do you say it? Selenilian?
Yeah,
Can't say that word.
Selenium. What?
It's a horrible word to say.
Selenilium.
Selenilium.
But it does happen.
It's selenili.
No, guys.
Selenilium.
It's cinnamon.
Selenilium.
But it does happen. Regardless how you say it, it does happen, right?
Exactly.
So therefore, that debunks their whole nonsense of eclipse proving that we're on a sphere. That's ridiculous. Let's prove what we're standing on. Exactly. And we can with measurements.
Mm-hmm.
The Earth is in its rotation, the Earth must be round as well. Another point
So he begged the question that it's a shadow, begged the question that the Earth is round, begged the question that the Earth is the moon is orbiting around it, begging the question that it's rotating, all without any evidence for it.
He really put it like, because the Earth is rotated, it would have to be round.
Yeah, but there's no evidence for anything he just claimed, but he's saying it is evidence. Why? Why is it evidence? Just because he says it's to be evidence. That doesn't make it evidence.
But you got the nice boop, 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 boop. Really hypnotizing, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
he made was that the stars are constantly in different positions depending on where you are on the Earth. Aristotle noticed that there were stars that he could see in Egypt that could not be seen from Cyprus.
No shit, Sherlock. Now, how does that mean it's a globe? Do you understand you can't see the Eiffel Tower from England? Yeah, this is how idiotic it is. It doesn't make it a globe, or any shape for that matter. It just means the moron didn't understand things have vision. I mean, you have limitations to everything you see.
That's not true. That's impossible. It can't be. I mean, it's not like you can't see it because it's too far away. It has to be hidden behind the curve. Right? Things don't get too small. They just go behind the curve. That's the only reason things disappear at the horizon.
Are we really expected to believe that these guys were like biggest thinkers of the time and they didn't understand this?
The same guys that never proved to be existed, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it though, because lighthouses are a very old thing. They had that in pre-Christ era, and so if you have a lighthouse, well, you should know. You know, you're a fisherman at night.
Yeah.
You're going to be guided by that thing or you're going to die. And you can go out very far thanks to that because it sticks out.
Yeah, but this is like, I love asking the Globers, and I've yet to get any argument back from them or any rebuttal towards it. Why is it that gravity came a few thousand years after Archimedes' principle, and yet Archimedes' principle has worked for all ships and everything for those thousands of years before gravity was there? Then why are they claiming gravity to be this proven thing for buoyancy? You understand? It's like they take everything from people in the past and they try and change it to suit their narrative, and now that's why they
adapt it.
Yeah,
right?
they adapted.
You have to make room for gravity. You just stick gravity right onto it. So boop, you got the full formula, and then you take the G and just boop, right next to it. See, that's the cause of it.
I don't care what you say, Charlie Wells. Jesus existed, mate.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask one of the pros, Neil deGrasse Tyson. What is gravity?
We don't know.
I don't know.
Next question.
Exactly. Based on Jesus' existence, yeah, there's a lot of documentation that he existed, even from scholars that are against Christianity, mate. You might want to check your history because Jesus was an actual person, real documented stuff. So,
And there's still this temple dedicated to him in India where he's visited. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah. It's sad that people just say, "Oh, I don't believe in Jesus, so therefore he never existed." Yet there's countless documentation that he did. Okay, let's carry on.
Some 1,000 kilometers away, and that as you move further and further away from the equator, the visible constellations in the sky would dramatically change.
What did we say, remember? The Earth is based on what? Your latitude lines are based from? The equator, correct? Let's listen to that again.
1,000 kilometers away, and that as you move further and further away from the equator, the visible constellations in the sky would dramatically change. That proved, as he wrote, that not only that the Earth is circular in shape, but also that it is a sphere of no great size, for otherwise the effect of so slight a change of place would not be quickly apparent.
What nonsense.
What does a sphere?
Very fancy words to say very little.
What does a sphere of no certain size mean? Like,
yeah, let's just look at this statement quickly and see what it actually says. Okay. Not only the Earth is circular in shape. Okay, so they're saying it's just a circle, which means circle, which usually a sphere is based on. It's a three-dimensional circle. But also that it is a sphere. No shit, you just said it's circular, so therefore sphere. Of no great size. What does that mean? So you're saying it's not that big then? Okay. So it's a sphere that's not very big. Okay. For otherwise the effect of so slight a change of place would not be quickly apparent. So he's saying, in other words, if you change your location, you would see that much apparent change. Why wouldn't you see that much apparent change? That's already begging the question again, that the things you're seeing in the sky are thousands of miles away, trillions of miles away, millions of miles away.
Well, it's assumed that the stars are like surrounding you
and
in order to come to that conclusion.
Yeah, and also, do you think they had an understanding of parallax or perspective in those days yet?
Yeah,
so,
I think they did. But in the ancient times, it was like, I think it was really normal to say, yeah, the stars are just like lights in the sky.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't think about it. They don't think like, oh, there might be at this distance. Somebody else says, no, they're much farther away. But it didn't really matter. It's like, no, they're just there.
But that's what I'm saying.
The angles are there, and that's it.
But that's what I'm saying. This statement is him saying that it has to be because of the Earth's not far. Because if it wasn't far away, I mean, if it was far away as he believes, you wouldn't see that change as much as you do. Because it's got a relationship to the distance. Hey, Mr. Andre, good to see you. Thank you for coming. So yeah, also another just begging the question and affirming the consequent. That's it. I haven't seen out of this whole 2 minutes we've been watching one evidence at all.
Well, what they're basically saying is like, although it's like what I'm seeing in this, it's kind of complex, is that it has to do with the infinite distance concept, right? That they use on math in order to get that perfect angular consistency. So that's probably what he's saying. It has to be super distant, or you would get perspective issues, right? It would like go into the distance and slow down. We don't see that. So it's based on that inference, which carries with it the physicality assumption bias of the stars being objects in locations, saying it has to be super distant.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we would see perspective effects.
That's what I'm saying. But you see, that's the problem. He's already made his biased decision now. We can take this and easily say the Earth is the size it is because we measurements are based on optical perspective, looking in the distance, and therefore we get the distances what we see. And this exactly validates what we said. They measured the latitudes from looking at Polaris from the equator. Exactly this. So they instead of
all angles.
so instead of understanding, listen here, it's optical, they're saying it's physical. So this is their concession that they're taking it to call it physical, all based on a biased decision. Interesting.
Several years later, another Greek scholar, Eratosthenes, would go a step further and not only prove that the Earth was round, but also measure its circumference with only the power of the sun and a stick.
Yeah, and how do people know about this? Because the historian was recorded writing about him. You know when he was recorded writing about him? 30 years before he was born.
It makes so much sense. So
yep,
he's a kind of a messiah. Well, he is actually. He's a globe messiah.
Well, what I think is he was probably a fictional character that was made as a hypothetical example by the writer. And not actually
these
the
are
real
things
figure.
that bother me. Sorry.
So they reified the fictional character into a historical figure through his fictional writing.
Yeah, right, but they'll believe that, but they'll dispute the evidence that Jesus existed.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. But I think about it. Where if you come and you say, okay, let's see. The globe says this is how it was. These are the fathers that worked out it's a globe. And you go and look and say, but hang on. These guys never existed. There's no documentation they existed. There's nothing. And the people are, like you said, it was written 30 years before the so-called guy even existed. You're going to say, this is all just a scam. It's a sham. They're just scamming you. But what do? They say, oh no, we'll just ignore all that and just say it's a globe anyway. It's nonsense. It's just dishonesty. That's all it is. I mean, it's the same as when you take people like the Muslim religion, for instance, with Muhammad. The guy could do what he wanted, how he wanted, and every time he just wanted to appease his perversity, he just writes I got a new revelation from Allah, therefore I can do what I want. You understand? And now everybody that follows Islam today say it's fine to be perverted because Allah says so. No, it's wrong.
No, that they don't say that.
You're allowed to marry a girl even if she reaches puberty at 4 years old, mate.
Yeah, married perhaps, but I mean, you're not going to do anything. You're gonna, but look, that's all. But let's not get into this, please. But I mean, it's based on what that region was like in that time. Completely getting trashed by war, and it was about survival, right? It was about how do you ensure survival.
How is survival? How is survival letting your wife go out to the field and as soon as she comes back, you're sleeping with your sex slave, and then you make a creed that if you're a Muslim, you're allowed to have more than one wife, and you can have secret wives because you don't want to hurt your wife's feelings. And if your wife has a problem with it, then she is an unfaithful, non-good Muslim wife. Is that helping your cause for survival, or is that just showing you perverted?
Well, it's a dominant stance. It's not very civilized, I agree, but yeah, I mean, if you're surrounded by people that could literally mug and kill everybody at any point, you're going to be really, really hard about it, almost animalistic. I mean, yeah, I mean, don't do that. Don't do that now, but I get it. I mean, you'd underestimate what Arabia was like back then, dude.
Yeah, we're not debating that now.
It was a war zone.
It was a war
also
zone
thanks to the freaking Vatican that was already seeding war and shit.
Yeah,
trying to take control of over the.
but like I was saying, Muhammad, he was a false prophet, just like Aristophanes, a false made-up fictional character, and the people
Yeah,
follow
well, that's
it
your
today.
opinion.
No, Muhammad is false,
Yeah,
mate.
that's your opinion.
Hold on. What Flatzoid's saying is Muhammad may have been real, but he was not a prophet.
Yeah,
He did no miracles.
yeah, he was.
So who cares?
Who cares? People are following him today because they have to follow his ideals. You understand? The type of people that follow his ideals follow him. That's why. Just like
There's
the
a
people.
lot.
Just
There's
like
a
the
lot
people.
of Muslim people talking out about Islam.
I mean, do you know that hundreds? I mean, I think at the saying that this was like 3 or 4 years ago. At least 100,000 Muslims have left their cult because of this stuff, and that was like a few years ago.
Correct. And if you ask an imam, and I was surrounded by them in prison. Trust me. You ask an imam if Muhammad married an 8-year-old girl, they will not deny it. They'll say yes, but he did not have relations with her until she had her first menstrual cycle.
Which is
so that is the fruits of a pedophile. Jesus
Well,
them by
I'm
their
out here.
fruits.
Bye.
That can also be.
Why is Alwyn getting so offended by this? Is he secretly Muslim or something?
No, I think Arwen's got in the position of they've got more of an idea of who Jesus is than Christians do.
They say Jesus never died. Judas took his place, and therefore, and God, Allah as a God, is the greatest deceiver. That he deceived Christians so much that they believed he did die.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. But I know Arwen doesn't believe the same Jesus as we do.
Right. Yeah, he wants Jesus on his terms, and I'm sorry, it's just not that way. And have the same battles with Adam too, because he said today, Huey did a nice, it was just me, him, Huey was going over the end times and the tribulation period, the great tribulation, and Adam turned around and said, "Well, the Muslims have Jesus coming as the Messiah too." I said, "No, he takes a backseat to Muhammad." You read carefully. Yeah, they claim that Jesus is coming back, but he takes a backseat to Muhammad, and that's just not true.
The thing is, Muhammad. You're not allowed to talk ill of Muhammad, but you're allowed to talk ill of Jesus, because Jesus. They say Jesus is born of the Virgin Mary, whatever, but he's not the Messiah. He's just an ordinary prophet, and he will come back.
Can you remember that AI joke thing, Flatzoid?
AI, say again?
Can you remember that thing you posted where somebody had asked AI a joke about Jesus and then asked for a joke about Muhammad? And
Exactly. It was actually very sick. You're not allowed to make fun of Muhammad and them, but as soon as you make fun of Jesus, it's fine.
Well, let's look at the whole thing too, and then if you want me to get back to flat Earth, that's fine. But think about this: you read through the Bible. Every time there was an encounter with an angelic being or Jesus himself, they fell on their faces, afraid. And what's the first thing that they were told? Fear not.
Yeah.
I am a messenger. I am the angel. I am the Lord of hosts, right?
Yeah.
Muhammad did not get that. He supposedly saw an angel. He didn't hear the fear not.
The problem is with Muhammad as well. He couldn't discern if it was a demon, Satan, giving him these things, or God or Allah. I mean, it's sad. I mean, we can actually do long streams on Muslim and stuff, because it's also one of my passions as well to actually talk.
Yeah.
Before I did Flat Earth,
I think it'd be good.
Before I did Flat Earth, I was actually doing Muslim apologetics and Christian apologetics and stuff. So it's something I also enjoy talking about. But unfortunately, it does step on a lot of people's toes. But like I was saying, according to just what we were talking about now, it's got the same connotations as Muhammad to what's that? Because they follow a cult. They follow someone that's not how can I put it?
Yeah. So I'm saying divine. Because like Muhammad's a guy. the end of the day, that's idolatry. You know what I mean? That's not God.
No.
Even as a prophet, he should not be revered. He should be revered if he was a prophet, but he shouldn't be worshipped. You know?
Do you revere Isaiah?
Oh, no, of course not. I'm just saying.
I don't either. He was a great prophet of God.
No,
so why is, even if Muhammad was a prophet, why is he being revered?
Yeah, but that's the problem.
Right enough. But my point was he shouldn't be worshipped. That's for sure. You know what I mean?
That's the problem with the Quran. It specifically says that if you cannot go against anything Muhammad says. If you go against
infidels. We should be killed.
It's worse than that, though. Who's Allah? Because there's a good chance that it's Satan himself.
Look, Allah.
That's the moon god.
Look, the word Allah just means God, but according to Islam, Allah, it's actually Satan. If you look at the roots and everything, it spells out Satan, and all the characteristics of Satan actually spell out the Muslim religion, unfortunately.
Well, my son asked me the other day, who's Antichrist? The Bible's clear. Whoever denies that Jesus Christ is Messiah, came in the flesh, crucified, and rose, is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
So it's plain and simple there.
That's right.
Before we go on there, I just want to quickly put this up. They said we should quickly check here. Brevard County commissions to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent ISS program. If all astronauts are already up there, why are... This should be interesting. I'm going to quickly watch that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we should be going after NASA.
Oh yeah,
I've watched that dude already. I was like, fair play to him. At least he's standing up and saying it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right, Lotion. I just noticed Lotion's coming.
Okay, let's quickly watch this, guys.
Today, I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in your county. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there.
Augmented reality. And the funny thing is we still get the anti-flat earthers trying to defend this nonsense.
Pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions.
I remember that. He first denied it. He's like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But he was, but he knew. He actually was interviewed about it before and knew everything. And then when asked on stage, all of a sudden he just had amnesia about it.
Deceptive as hell. That's exactly what it is.
Questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water.
I made a video about that as well. You know what the excuses was? His cooling ventilation pipe burst.
Nice.
This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now, what's really interesting is that they train for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now, surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space. Because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would like a darn good explanation as to where our tax money is going. And if they are indeed faking the funk, it is our duty to expose and eliminate this fraudulent and astronomically wasteful ISS program.
I agree.
And look, I know what you're all thinking. The NASA is part of the federal government, and you're just county commissioners. Even if what I'm saying is true, what can you do? But let me remind you, not only is this happening in your county, as public officials, you have the platform and the ability to make a statement or hold a press conference, alerting the public, state, and federal authorities to investigate further. You have the power to start the conversation. Video evidence of everything I described today will be emailed to you all, and I truly hope we can get to the bottom of this. I look forward to the day that $3 billion annual budget is put towards our veterans, our homeless, maybe some of that mental health stuff the young lady just spoke about.
Yeah, that's
He might get whacked, that guy. Be interesting to see if he's still alive.
yeah, it's crazy.
Fair play to him, though.
But I agree 100% with him. Why does it have to show so much dishonesty if it's not, if it's supposed to be true?
Flatzoid, that's in one county, right? Now, can you imagine if everybody had a representative to go to every single county, everywhere on Earth, right?
Unfortunately, in South Africa, they're not going to give a damn because they're saying that's America. They're just going to say, it's not our country. We'll only use our money for party. I mean, last week they didn't even come pick up our rubbish removal because they didn't have money to fix the rubbish trucks. But they had the president going to a town to have 100,000 rand party. You understand? You have 100,000 rand party, but you cannot fix dump trucks to pick up rubbish. It's crazy. Okay, are we going to go on with Aristophanes that never existed?
Yeah, might as well. And you know something, I wanted to say something about that. And when the guys that did exist, let's say Newton did exist, right?
Yeah.
He didn't want anything to do with gravity. And what do? They
put a sign
ascribe him gravity.
Exactly. So what do we take from this, guys? Don't make shit up, because you will be ascribed to it if you don't want to be ascribed to it. I mean,
yep.
And I have to just say this out. People, please don't push the ether. Einstein never said the ether didn't exist. He said it does exist. The ether is simply globe rhetoric. Okay? I don't know how to
we
push
have
it.
etherites in the house?
Obviously. Hey, Oxford Spread, good to see you, mate. Look, I don't mind if people believe the ether, but I'm just simply saying the ether is not flat Earth based. The ether is globe Earth based.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask what it is? Is it a
it's-
crime to ask what is ether?
According to general relativity, it is still just, it's the propagation of space-time. It's the blanket of space-time. That's what the ether
checks
is.
out.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. If the people come and push ether, they have to realize they're pushing a globe belief system. And if you say you are a truther and you say the globe's fake, then why the hell are you pushing a globe rhetoric? And yeah, there's a lot of things that show Einstein never demolished ether. He said he does believe it, not he took it away.
Known as one of the most prominent scholars of his time, Eratosthenes studied in Athens and produced impressive works in astronomy, mathematics, geography, and philosophy.
Okay. Did we see any astronomy from him? Did we see any mathematics from him, or geography or philosophy? Does anybody have one document of this?
I think
not me.
I
Well,
think
if he had geography, then he'd be proving a flat Earth.
no, I think astronomy is the only evidence that there's supposedly a book he wrote on astronomy or something, but that's the only evidence there is.
Yeah, but that's the problem. He doesn't have documentation ever existed. That astronomy book could be just dedicated to him, you understand? Doesn't mean he actually wrote it. Exactly, Archie. Einstein, though the ether existed, I too do be honest, because everything has waves, aka electromagnetic spectrum, etc. There needs to be something there to wave. I disagree 100%. You do not, I mean, I disagree with you, Rachie, sorry. You don't need to have a propagation media because you're saying it's a wave. Not everything has waves. We can explain things with waves, but it doesn't mean everything has waves. So I have to disagree with that. No, Glenn, that's the thing. Ether is exclusive to a globe because the globe pushes ether as their propagation medium for space-time bending. When it comes to flat Earth, if you're pushing the ether, what is the ether? They have an answer for what ether is in the globe, but what's an ether for flat Earth? So this I'm gonna have to say straight out. Can any FE tell me what is the ether for flat Earth? Because if you're saying anything other than space-time, then you are just literally saying you believe it to be magical fairy dust. Because that's exactly what it is. It's called space-time. It's the fabric of space-time. That's what the ether is in the globe model.
Hey, is that even a real picture of this guy?
Check at his head.
I was just looking at that, Neil, thinking if that's what he looked, he was a weird looking dude.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of lack of evidence for it, Rachel.
Yeah,
I agree. Like I said,
they've given him a big old head to make people think he's got a big brain.
I mean, I used to believe in the ether when I came to the flat Earths first. I mean, you can see my first videos on my channel was trying to prove the ether. But if you just even take looking at the differences of ferromagnetism, diamagnetism, and paramagnetism, you would realize that it's impossible that they claim, because you would have things floating in the middle of the air just because it's diamagnetic, and we don't see that. Do you see diamagnetic things floating in the middle of the air, or do you see rodents being pushed along the ground just because it's because of some kind of magnetic field around it? No.
Well, I bought that too when I first came in. You know, you go to the Feast of Nonsense, you see the Sagnac, and you see all that other stuff, and you're like, yeah, ether. But then you get educated, and you don't push it no more unless you can validate it.
Because I'm still on what is light.
Yes.
That's a big question.
That is a big one.
I mean, light is simply just a false equivalence taken by how water behaves.
Well, the Bible says God is light, right?
Yeah.
I agree, Glenn. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily define what ether is, but the problem is if he can't define it, there's no definition for it. So at the moment, if you're fighting for the ether, they are fighting for the globe rhetoric because they can't define it. And it's a mute argument.
Look how many different explanations we've heard of the last couple of years, Neil, on what ether is. Like every different ether, right, gives you a different explanation of what it is.
Yeah.
Counter space. It's a backdrop.
Yeah.
Hey, Titan Long, good to see you, mate. Free energy, I would say yeah to a point, but to harness the energy is a different story. To be able to use it all the time.
And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Even with said that. We're going to get free energy. You get free energy, and I'm right behind you with the ether.
Because if you do get free energy, it doesn't mean there's an ether anyway. It just means there's energy bombarding us all the time. I mean, we might as well just say neutrinos is free energy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Flatzoid, they have to say that because what's in it for me? Right? To get people on board, they promote this free energy nonsense, and then you get people on board with you. See the little trick?
Yeah. Because like my point I'm just trying to make, if you guys want to believe in the ether, it's up to you. But until you've actually got a definition of what the ether is and any demonstration for it, you know better than the globe is pushing space and time. You know better because you got no definition for it, just like they got no definition for their dark matter and gravity and stuff. They can't define anything perfectly because it's all based on a biased belief. And that's exactly, I'm sorry to say, how the ether's being portrayed at the moment. And it's making us all look idiotic because the people are saying, oh, look how stupid these people with the ether. They don't understand it's actually globe-based and they can't even tell us what it is. So it makes us all look idiotic at the end of the day. But yeah, no one can define it because no one really knows what it is. So I don't understand why you would try and push something if you don't know what it is and you can't define it. To me, I would rather just say, I believe it could be exist, but I don't know, so I'm just going to ignore it until we find an actual definition for it. Instead of saying, yeah, I believe it, and trying to make excuses of what it could be. I mean, how do you even know, like with Whitsitt and them, where they trying to push dielectrics onto the ether? How do you know it's even linked?
Magnetism. They'll push magnetism. They'll come up with every other thing, but they won't define ether.
Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying? How do you know they're linked, though?
You don't.
Yeah, exactly.
In 240 BC, he was even appointed as the chief librarian of the Great Library of Alexandria.
Hey, Gematria Wombat, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming. And Planet X, hello. Is it still showing? I hope it's still showing. Okay, it is, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
One of the largest and most significant libraries of the ancient world. One of Eratosthenes' many ambitions was to create a world.
Yeah, exactly, Raichi. That's where I was for a while. Like I said, I was so used to believe in the ether and stuff. But after you just dig deep enough, you just find there's just nothing for it. It just doesn't make sense. Nikola Tesla, I think he thought the ether was a free energy propagation medium, as far as I know.
Map. And to do that, he knew that he first needed to determine the size of the Earth.
Sorry, how do you need to determine the size of the Earth if you don't know what the Earth is? So he assumed it's a sphere, and therefore let's make a size of the Earth because I assume it's a sphere. That's very dishonest.
Eratosthenes lived in the city of Alexandria, near the mouth of the Nile River in present-day modern Egypt. He had first heard about a well located in the ancient city of Syene, which is now present-day modern Aswan. He realized that at noon on the summer solstice, when the sun was directly overhead, sunlight illuminated the entire bottom portion of the well, without casting any shadows on the sides, like during other days of the year.
Do they have this well still? I'm sure they do, eh? The well in Syene. Let's go see. I'm sure they have it still. Let's go. I hope it's... well... Oh, sorry. Well... in Sy... How do you spell that now? Syene. There we go. The whale. Okay. Let's see if we can actually see it. Images. Measure the size of the... is it this one? Must be this well. Looking down a well in Egypt. Yeah.
You gotta read that Planet X nonsense in chat.
Okay, gravity is why gas clouds form into stars. Physics as sane people know it. Gravity is not a force, Planet X, so it can't do anything. And the medium you're claiming to have this formation of stars is impossible to be situated to each other in a vacuum.
What about them clouds that float above us that defy gravity?
Yeah. But I want to know, Planet X, can you take a vacuum chamber for us? Stick some gas in there and show us how it holds to each other, clumps to each other, please. I'd love to see that.
Here comes the straw man. Here comes the straw man. Come on.
Yeah, what is gravity? Okay, so this is the well they claimed, guys. After writing about some of the most exciting current and future experiments around the world, I decided to look way back around the 240 BC, when Aristophanes became the first person to measure the circumference of the Earth. Although by this time many Greeks believed that the Earth was round, they had found no way of measuring its size. That is until Aristophanes, who had been appointed chief librarian of the Library of Alexandria, who from travellers about a well in Syene. One thing that I got to say is very odd about the story. The guy never existed. Like they said, they wrote about him 30 years before his existence. He lived 500 kilometers away in Egypt. How did he know about some weird well in Syene?
Yeah, 500 kilometers away is a long way away back
Especially
then.
for people
To get there.
Especially for people that didn't have anything to travel by other than oxen or donkeys or something.
That's right.
So it's really weird, and by that, he just by chance knew about this well. The person
Sounds like a tall story, doesn't it?
Really
He had really, really nice water. He went for a little drinky poos.
Okay, let's see. And then it says, appoint librarian, okay, whatever, which is also not actually evidence of that, because the so-called Library of Alexandria burnt down with all these documents. Very fishy. Okay, he heard from travelers about the well in Syene, so he never even knew about it himself, guys. So he based his whole belief system of what he heard about travelers. Makes sense. So you just believe every Tom, Dick, and Harry that says a story, in other words. And that's what the whole globe is based upon. What's it based on? Faith, belief.
Tom, Dick, and Harry. Oh,
Exactly.
faith, belief, yeah.
But think about it. Let's say you were him now, if you really existed, and you were in Egypt, and some travelers went there and said, "Oh, did you see this well in Syene?" First of all, why would they be talking about a well in Syene? And secondly, if you don't know the guy from a bar of soap, he's just a traveler, why would you just accept what he says as truth? Really weird. Don't you guys think there's just too much holes in this? Anyway, then he says, that is until Orish's travelers while Syene, which was unobstructed by shadows at local noon on the summer solstice, indicating that the sun was directly overhead. Aristophanes was a Greek polymath, but was called Beta, the second letter of the Greek alphabet, by these contemporaries, as his work was never quite first rate in any area of study. Why would they call him Beta and then say he's this brilliant guy? That's weird. He planned to create a map of the world, which first required him to conduct an experiment. What experiment? Again, they love bringing experiment into. That means they're saying science. Where's the science? Has anybody seen science for this?
No.
Exactly. To measure its circumference. First of all, science doesn't measure circumferences, guys. Science is a cause and effect relationship. He calculated the angle of elevation. So he calculated. Not measured. He calculated the angle of elevation of the sun at high noon and the summer solstice in Alexandria by using trigonometry. Would that be right angle triangles, guys?
Sounds a little bit like it.
With a vertical rod and its shadow as two sides of a triangle. This angle was found to be about 7 degrees, or roughly 1/5 of the full circle. Excuse me. So he's taken flat earth measurements, like we said, and decided, hang on, it means globe. Yeah. And he took all this based on listening to a traveler that he's never met before, because I said there's just some travelers. Took his word for it that this well existed. So in other words, he never saw the well himself. He took the information secondhand from someone that he never met before, and he made a measurement using trigonometry, which requires a flat baseline, and called it a globe.
But don't you think he'd know them things? This is what I don't get. Like, he's supposedly so clever, but yeah, he don't realise that you can't get an elevation angle on a curved surface.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me. Purple 7, but a talking snake is legit. Right, yeah, a talking snake is legit. And like Simon says, non sequitur.
What snake's this like?
You're talking about the snake in the garden, so it's nothing. We weren't talking about that, so non sequitur.
Can he provide us evidence that the snake never talked?
Can he provide evidence it was a snake? Because I had serpent. Like
Serpent,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
It certainly mean a snake. Like.
It was a serpent, and then the snakes were cursed to become a snake to roam on their belly. For all you know, it could have been a dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
Because remember, Satan is seen as the dragon. So he could have come as a form of a serpent, aka a dragon. And he can talk, guys. He's supernatural.
It talked all world into believing in a globe.
Yep. Well, he talked billions of Muslims into believing Muhammad.
Yeah.
Okay. Using the incorrect but acceptable for the equipment available at the time assumptions that the light rays from the sun were parallel and that Alexandria was due north of Syene, Aristophanes reasoned that the angle of the elevation would provide the fraction of the Earth's circumference covered by the distance between Syene and Alexandria. You see, guys, your whole globe is based on assuming from any, just based on faith. Again, I'm going to reiterate. He got his information about a well from a person he never met before, decided to stick a stick in the ground, realized he did trigonometry with a 90-degree flat baseline, and said, therefore, it's a globe, all because he believed it's a globe. Do you understand what the problem is, you guys?
Yeah. Sounds like a tall story, like I said earlier.
And I forgot to note. And he assumed the sun's rays were parallel. But what happens when you go look at the sun?
They're divergent.
Yeah, that looks very parallel to me. Sure.
Yeah.
Just
absolutely.
It's like crazy parallel. Maybe I have to put this on for the people to see again.
Yeah. Maybe if it was another 93 million miles away, might be a bit more parallel.
It's like a common theme, though. All globe evidence comes from dead guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why is that? The funny thing is that these guys are blind or both, or dishonest or both, because you clearly do not see parallel sun rays. And then they say, oh, but that's because of perspective. Then you show, no, they're just idiots. Perspective is based from the observer to the observation point, not from the observation point to the observer. When you look at a railway track, it's converging from you to the actual point, correct?
Yeah.
It's not physically going together. Now, when you look at the sun, that is light rays coming out towards you, not you looking towards a like
it
a
should
train
be.
track.
It's the sun's perspective rather than ours, sort of thing.
Apparently. What happens when you take a sphere? Let's take any kind of sphere light, and the light is going out in all directions from a sphere. Does that mean that it's parallel or divergent. Do people know what divergent means?
It's a movie,
fit this
I think.
Divergent Droid. Best mod ever.
Shout out to Divergent Droid. Oh, did
man.
look out of there. You go. Divergent, tending to be different or developing different directions. A series increasing indefinitely as more as items. What does it mean to be divergent? Okay. That's just divergent. But it just means it goes in different directions. Okay. So we know the sun is not parallel. It's divergent. Okay.
He then checked to see if the same phenomenon was happening in Alexandria by placing a stick upright in the ground at noon on the day of the summer solstice. Here, he noticed that the sun did cast a shadow at an angle of 7.2 degrees.
And that is how actually showing a globe, guys. If you did this on your own, you stuck a stick in the floor and you saw a shadow and you have a 90-degree right angle and it gives an angular reading, you would say, look, the sun is a position away from me and giving a 7.2 degree angle. You're not going to automatically say, oh, the ground is curved beneath my feet.
No. Why would you?
I mean, every single
There's
thing.
nothing to suggest that at all.
Yeah, everything from this video has been nothing but begging the question, affirming the consequent, and having faith that it's a globe. That's it.
Well, in putting a stick in ground is essentially making a sundial.
Yeah, Terry.
And
sundial.
And so, you put a stick in ground and watch it for a bit, and you see how shadow moves around because sun's moving around it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know why he'd even suggest it is on a ball. It's crazy.
Exactly. Terry, I just have to say, train tracks appear to converge, not diverge.
Yeah.
That's why I try to explain to these guys. They don't understand what perspective is. It's
you're going the opposite way.
Yeah, it's from you, the observer, to the observation point, not the other way around. These guys are morons.
Perspective, it's in the word perceive. It's how you perceive it.
When you look out to the horizon's not looking at you. You're looking at the horizon.
This is because the city of Alexandria is north of the Tropic of Cancer.
Terry Windsor, you can take it any way you want to. It's going to give different shadows. Why? Because it's all got to do with your location to the sun, its position. How do you think nautical navigation is based on? It's got to do with your location to the GP of the star you're observing, based on 90-degree right angle triangles.
It's saying it again. Train tracks
diverge. They converge, you idiot.
You're not even brainy enough to even be in this chat, mate, if that's what you think.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to finish this video, guys, because the power's going off in about 15 minutes. So we've got about 10 minutes left, and then... But yeah, there's a difference between converge and diverge. Terry, learn the difference.
Or also known as the northernmost point where the sun will be directly overhead. Eratosthenes realized that he could then perform some simple calculations with this measurement and easily determine the circumference of the Earth. However, one important factor in this calculation was determining the distance between Alexandria and Syene. With modern technology, this would be no big deal, but back in 240 BC, this was much more difficult to perform and especially perform accurately.
Yeah, because the guy never existed. So they had to make it just a story of how he did it. I mean, I'm sure the people did paces long before he existed from the two places, did they not? Because they had maps then already from Syene to Egypt, correct? The maps did exist. So there were no cartographers those days, guys.
Eratosthenes hired what was known as a bemetist, who essentially was a professional walker trained to measure distances by counting steps.
Professional walker. wow. I want to become a professional walker too. How much do you think I'll get paid for it?
If you record it on YouTube, a lot. Like you said, walking dogs and that, you'll probably you get paid for that on YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Imagine like people come to you. What's your profession? Oh, I'm a professional walker.
Yeah, man. I walk all over the place professionally.
Although not much is known about their measurement methods, they were known to have a high degree of precision and were thought to have accompanied Alexander the Great on his campaign throughout Asia. These BEM
No, shadows don't debunk FE, Planet. Shadows actually help FE. It's you that's being a moron that don't understand all your measurements are based in optical observations and based on flat Earth measurements. Stationary, horizontal planes.
Yeah. I'd like to know which shadows debunk flat Earth, like.
Do they just spout this thing that comes into their head, like?
Yeah.
It must be, because I'd love to know the shadows that actually debunk flat Earth.
I can't believe rational people say these things,
I mean, we can even put this and say, why is it that we've got people having observations of 2 suns in the sky? Even that alone debunks the heliocentric model. What if there are 2 suns? What are they going to do about it? How do they know if there's 2 suns in the sky, you can have 2 different shadows at different locations, which shows your globe to be bunk? And I mean, we've seen actual video footage, demonstrable video footage, where they have people showing there's sunset on the one side and sunrise on the other side. Really impossible on a globe Earth.
which measured distances and length of stadia, an ancient Greek unit of length based on the circumference of a typical sports stadium, determined that the distance between Alexandria and Syene was roughly 5,000 stadia, or 800 kilometers in today's terms.
Imagine walking 800 kilometers just because someone paid you to do it.
It seems highly doubtful, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a fair hake. That's a fair hake.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. I mean, do you know anybody today that goes and walks 800 kilometers?
No.
I
mean, that's longer than the length of the UK.
And what in navigate?
Well, that's about the length of the UK, roundabout. Yeah.
And
how did he know where he was walking? Wouldn't he have had to navigate?
Yeah, and did he walk in a perfect straight line, or did he take little curves? You know, go around streets? Did he climb over mountains? What did he do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Very dodgy stuff, guys. Actually, everything based on Eratosthenes is very dodgy, very flimsy, to say the least. There's nothing that shows it to be anything but idiotic and made up. Hey, Mojo Shop, sorry to say you came in just when we're going to close off, though. Hey, Just Jack, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming in as well. Also, you came in when we're closing.
It's been good, though. It's been good.
Aurorian says dogs say to look at the pole star when they poop.
So do I.
But that's false. You know why? I live in the south. We don't see the pole star, so how do we do it?
You're upside down, aren't you? No, you're kind of on the side.
And the thing is, you can't see Sigma Octantis, so we can't look the opposite.
Looks like you're constipated then.
Yeah, it's it. You being perpendicular to us, you must be constipated all the time.
Rachel's also got a good point there. And wasn't that in the desert too? Yes, in the hot desert. So walking for years, trying to walk as straight as possible, counting to... I mean, has anybody just tried walking a day and counting constantly for a day?
Oof, no.
You'd go insane.
Yeah.
But this guy walked for 800 kilometers counting stadias, apparently. It doesn't... No, I'm sorry.
It doesn't gel.
I think, let's say this, guys. We got a challenge for any glober. if you're crazy enough to do this, replicate this. Walk from Egypt to Syene and count stadias for us, please. I'm stuck. Am I stuck? What do I mean stuck? Oh, guys. Yeah, my phone just died.
Oh.
Well, I think we're gonna end it here. I think it was a good stream. Thank you for coming. Arwen,
It was good.
I'm sorry you got offended that it's not the same Jesus you like.
Don't be sorry.
Hey, Lotion, good to see you, mate.
No, we can't be sorry about that.
But unfortunately, the truth hurts.
That's right. But we love you. We love you, Aaron.
Yeah. You're
No
awesome,
apologies necessary.
No, exactly.
Forrest Gump, Travis. Yeah, Forrest Gump. Hey, Guns, everyone, good to see you.
Forrest Gump.
Listen, Jesus said there will be an offense.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Came to bring division.
But I still don't see why people get offended by that. I mean, just because he doesn't want to believe Jesus is the Messiah or whatever, there's just no reason he needs to get offended. The reason he gets offended tells you everything.
Well, yeah.
Well, he doesn't want to believe in, I'd say, how he calls it, the bloodbath.
Yeah.
That we Christians believe in. And why would that be? I keep telling you, trying to think like creator. You can only think as created because that's all we are is created.
Yeah.
God
that's
required a blood sacrifice.
That's
and the
it.
story.
Exactly. And that's why he sent his only begotten son to pay the ultimate blood sacrifice.
The righteous for the unrighteous. Just like it's not fair that we're subject to when Adam and Eve, how they fell. So God made it, he balanced the scales by sending his own son, right?
Exactly.
So he pays the sin debt.
That's right.
Yeah, Rachel says stuck. Can't see Polaris or Sigma, I meant. Yeah, so I can never go to the bathroom or any dogs here in South Africa, guys. So yeah, guys, I just want to say thank you for coming. Really appreciate everybody being here. The power is going to go off, so I'm going to say night. See you guys all tomorrow evening. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. Any last words before I close off?
Yeah, if anybody else does the show, my wife is going to divorce me.
Nice. Yeah. Good show. Good show, Flats. I enjoyed that.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys' support and everybody coming on. So yeah,
No
guys,
problem.
just till tomorrow night. Have an awesome evening or day or further, whatever you guys are. Many, many blessings, and may the pressure be with you guys.